I know, right? Yay. Okay. So I'm going to finish what I'm doing. I will be right back. I'm almost done. So I'll come right back. I just have to walk to the gate and come back
Okay.
in a couple minutes. That's what I'll
Okay.
have to do. I'm feeling it. So
Oh, okay.
I was recording earlier, so I was having a good time.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah. I hope it works out. I think it'll work out. I have like a 5 minute piece that I did, and I did a 15-minute piece. So I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
Yeah. So how are you doing today, Miss Angie?
Good, good. Nice, relax. Worked last night, so it's
You did what?
worked last night, so it
Oh,
was
you did? Okay.
yeah. And this morning I'm like, okay. And then it's like, oh crap, wait, 11:30. Hurry up. Get online, get online. And I'm realizing I need to get back into my routine of clearing and grounding myself every night because that'll help me out on the mornings. Regardless of wherever I'm at. Because I haven't been doing that. And today I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I'm like in between. I'm like, what the hell? And then it's like, I didn't clear. I felt icky. So I'm like, okay. So I did that real quick right now. So I need to get back into my routine.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
That,
good.
yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We have a question. So I'm excited. I've been doing like a lot of I've known that I have to get back to basics. So I went back to basics a while ago, and that's what everybody is doing right now, going back to basics to shore up their belief system. So you're going in to find out what works, what doesn't work, how you're able to hold your intention, and all kinds of things right now. So
Mm-hmm.
here's our statement or query. Okay. Hello, how do I channel healing energy to my heart after someone projected their hostility to me? I still feel the shock and pain in my heart from yesterday.
Mm.
Hmm. All right.
First.
So, Angie and I will kind of tap into what you're talking about. Okay. And if it is about another individual, it's usually stuff that's been like unlocked that you haven't processed yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what it is because we're shared energy anyway. So anything could be a prompt for change. Anything can be a prompt for change. And in this instant, you took it personally. So as you take energy personally, all right, you're allowing it to register in an energetic body or understanding or meaning that you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
And the meaning that you've created for this experience is heartache, shock and pain in your heart. So, heartache. All right. The shock is usually based in what you thought would happen and something other than that happened. So, your expectation wasn't met. Shock. Shock is I think shock might be too strong of a term, but correct me, please, if I'm wrong. Shock means that your whole body, mind, spirit had to reset, and you didn't have this in your wheelhouse as a reference point. Okay. Yet you're able to articulate what you felt. I just think that the word you're using is is not as accurate as it could be. I think that the way you're describing it, you're trying to get rid of it at the same time, and that's perfectly okay. All right. Just recognize that you haven't come into acceptance of it. All right. That's how it is. Right. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why it seems shocking, but it isn't shocking as much as it is telling. right? So it's a telling moment. It's telling you something of what your experience is. And it's not the story that you had been giving to yourself, the narrative that you had developed over the same experience or situation. And what happens is that we feel kind of separated when we have two different versions of a one experience. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It just means that's kind of how we're interpreting it. We're separating ourselves from what somebody else's story is. And that's like really good. Okay. And the idea, because you're developing ways to be able to navigate your experience as well as tell yourself about your experience. It doesn't make it good or bad. It just means that you're slowing it down enough to create an understanding and a meaning, a thought and a feeling around the experience. As I'm talking, what I'm doing is I'm bringing the energy, okay, through an entrainment into less vibrational frequency. So it's like it's becoming more singular. All right. And I would say that the register of transferred energy is more in your solar plexus, soul sort of aspect, in that aspect. I think that there was probably a powerless feeling in the circumstance, like you can't change their mind or change their action or change their feeling about something. So that's more powerlessness. And that usually takes us away from what we thought or felt it was. And that's merely adding more perception to the dynamic of the story you're living. That's really all it is. I know it sounds like a roundabout way to talk about the energy, but we needed to create a construct that you could be in, all right, so that you can feel the ease that you're seeking. So you have to build something for the ideation, and you do that in your mind and in your heart, how you feel and what you think. Okay, great. So shocked. So let's say shock and pain in my heart from yesterday. I would say it's extra energy. Would you say it's extra energy, Angie? Okay, great. So for this particular space, right, maybe this individual was carrying a lot of spirit with them. I don't normally just say it out loud like that, but that's probably what it is. And in this spirit, you're noticing that it's starting to get active around this way for you. Okay. As it gets active, it's because I've called it by its right name. I am in resonance and declaration of what that energy is. As I do that, you're noticing a tightening in your lower solar plexus, close to, well, in between your belly button and your solar plexus, like right there, very tight. Okay. How this is registering for you could be you're thinking, because it's in that general area, that it gave you pain in your heart. I would say the pain in your heart is you reading spirit energy.
Do you have a pain in your back as well?
Yeah, well, that was the individual was a pain in the back. So what we can do is we can just open a gate. That's what I do. I open a gate to transition whatever spirit energy it is. So I say, all spirit energy in need of transition, go to the light, go to the light, go to the light. I know it's going to sound farcical, and I know it's going to sound like, oh, that can't really be, but you're noticing a big change right now. You're noticing that. And where this particular energy is registering, I would say that is not spirit. All right. The other spirit is gone. That's fine. But this requires another construct. So we're going to put it in a box and we're going to capture one corner, one corner, one corner, one corner. And then we're going to wrap it around it. All right. And then just pull it out like that. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to give it to the God of our understanding, because I believe that the God of my understanding loves me unconditionally and doesn't want me to have that confusion any longer. Breathe. See, you're coming into your body. That's what that feeling is, okay? You're coming into your body and your awareness, and there's more spaciousness. All right. Let's put it into an energetic sense so that way you can allow yourself to be you, because that's what you're learning. You're learning to allow yourself to be you, the communication to your nervous system. So here's some points that you need to create for yourself. What does safety feel like in your body? So feel safe in your body, feel safety in your body, create that vibration, create that through an emotion, feeling, sense. Safety. Keep saying safety inside your body, safe inside, safe. What does safe feel like? What does safe feel like? See how you're coming back to yourself. What is safe? 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 And now you're noticing that you have energy here. Okay? Lots of energy here. This energy is probably part of what you've been trying to hold outside of you as understanding. And you're trying to get a sense of how that other individual is like that. And you're trying to decipher that because it was painful for you. The idea is to let that individual have their own monkey and their circus. Okay. And you just transmute whatever the residual energy is into something you would like to experience. Maybe little white butterflies of unconditional love, source energy. And make it divine. It's how you think and feel. It's what you say. It's how you create meaning. And what you're doing is you're learning how to master your vibe. So when you find yourself in a situation where the conversation has gone south, and that's going to happen a lot in the next 18 years, a shit ton, especially now while we're, Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Okay. And it's going to go south because it's not going to last the way that it was any longer. So how you communicate your willingness is probably not what it used to be, to where you would allow the individual to be however it is that they were. And now, because you're becoming accountable to you and responsible for you, you don't want to be responsible for that any longer. And that's natural. Very natural. So there's a lot of endings that are happening right now. Those endings are learning aspects. And the learning that you can do is to see how you showed up for yourself. That's the learning. And telling yourself that you were enough in the situation, not replaying it over and over and saying, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, been or done or said. It's, I said what I said, I am what I am, and I'm okay with it. Giving yourself permission to have the expressions you do, giving yourself permission to be who you are, and to breathe into your beingness and allow it just to be okay. And that's like a lot of acceptance. And we've been taught that our feelings aren't facts, and they are. They're facts, just like our thoughts are facts. They're frequencies. Mm-hmm. We self-generate them. We generate a thought. We generate a feeling. All right. We have 2 DNA strands that let us do that. We articulate our world to us. That's our clairaudience. All right. That's our clairaudience. And then we think about it. That's our claircognizance. And then we perceive it. That's our clairvoyance. And then we feel it. That's our clairsentience. So it's masculine, feminine energy. And it all goes together. It all goes together. So we live our opinion and perception. We call it and refer to it as truth. It's a bit of truth. Oneness is truth. And it's all interconnected. All right. And what we've been doing through this conversation is gently backing you out and away from the focus that you were in. And that's it. That's all it was. We did it through talking. We did it through some constructs we created. And now you're feeling yourself come back to your body. The reason you're coming back to your body is because you don't have any outside or external curiosities that have to be solved any longer, because you're your best piece of information. You're your most rightness. You're your enoughness. Yeah, like that. There you go. And you can't be responsible for somebody's response. You can't be responsible. Responsibility means your response. So only you. I think that's the best way to say it. And now I'm going to let Angie weigh in on that. All right. Thank you, Angie, for letting me have the floor for so long. And I'll be right back, but you go ahead, please.
Sure. The thing that I had seen with when you started talking about her, or when she started talking about your powerlessness and the way you felt regarding what had happened, the only thing that I kept getting was the feeling of like you felt kind of like the audacity of this person to say or do what they did, because it's like you're not like that, you're not that way. So it's one of those of like you're kind of, the shock was more that, like, I don't know if it was an accusation, if it was something that was happening, but it was something in the sense of like, that's not me, that's not who I am, that's not what I'm doing. um that's not, I want to say like, how dare you, because it really offended you. um One of the things that I've learned recently with a lot of people, and funny enough, one of the things that I've learned a while back, but let's just say it finally clicked a couple of days ago. There's a thing that, and I'm sure you've probably seen it either on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, you pick a platform. um People can love you at the only at the capacity that they love themselves. um I want to push that to where people can understand only as the way they understand themselves. There's a lot of people that now are growing in the spiritual community, in the metaphysical community, however you want to call it, that we're able to see a little more, we're able to understand a little more, and it gives us perspective. So it gives us a little bit more of okay, let me I see that this person is going through stuff. I see that, like, I can be an ear and listen to you and not take anything personally. Okay, you want to talk about it. You have a problem with me. You have a problem with what I say, what I do, how I do it. You have a problem with, and the way Lucinda does it, where she talks to you and gets like, you're able to talk to the person and you're able to kind of like get to the root of the problem where it's not even you. They're just projecting to you. They're just throwing things at you. They're just um they're just kind of how do you do it? Sometimes it's, unfortunately, you have people that sometimes they're bothered because you're doing okay, or they're bothered because you're, whatever circumstance, situation, person, friendship, whatever the heck happened, it's not affecting you the way it's affecting them. Maybe you've gone through the healing, maybe you've gone through the process, maybe you've been able to like look at things and you're able to see it in a different perspective. That's great. They're still stuck on, it's outside of me. You're possibly in the situation where you're able to see that is outside of me, but it's affecting me this way. So, okay, why is it hurting me? What is happening to me? What is coming to me? And you start looking at it and you start trying to fix yourself. Sometimes those people, they keep pointing it out because they refuse to look in. And that's fine. That's their journey. It's gonna take them a minute to get to where a lot of us are at, of starting to look within instead of pointing the finger out. But I got the feeling with you where your shock, your all of that was like the audacity of you to think or say that about me, like how dare you, kind of thing. Um, don't take it personally. When people think that way, kind of look at yourself. Did I do it? Did I say it? Did I act? Did I really poke at you? Was it me? And if you can genuinely say no, fuck it. Like, let them say, let them be. Oh, I'm the wrong one. Okay, cool. I'm in the wrong. Hope that makes you feel better. But when you get home, cleanse yourself, ground yourself, center yourself. That's one of the things I haven't been doing. I can tell you, when you're doing that and when you're grounding yourself and when you're centering yourself, the world can burn around you. It's not going to matter. And you're not going to let that get attached to you. Work on that. Work on that a little bit.
Yeah. I agree. I think sometimes what it is that we're in such a community, okay, but it's such a skewed community because we built it from wound bonding or trauma bonding, and all of us are deciding, like right now, like all of us are deciding right now we don't like that kind of bonding. Mm-hmm. So we're very nope. Nope. And I would say that, like, I don't like to make it a gender thing. I don't like to make it a gender thing. But what I'm coming into an understanding of is that women in general have been depicted as emotional and sensitive and unable, because that practice provides confusion and chaos. That's what we've been taught, right? And that you need to be logical and reasoning in order to operate in the world. And I want to point out, as Captain Obvious, something to everyone. We make up all our fucking thoughts and all our fucking feelings anyway. We make it all up. So none of it and all of it is reliable as we say it is. That's it. Okay? And anytime something has been proven to be true and then becomes universally acceptable and applicable, it's only been proven because somebody thought about it and proved that thought. But you're always going to find what you're looking for. You are always going to find what you're looking for. Okay.
Yep.
So relax. And if you're in a situation to where you have words with an individual and you feel hurt, okay, you feel hurt, you feel shocked, you feel all of the things that you're feeling in the circumstance, right? The pain in your heart, right? The literal pain in your heart, okay? Allow yourself to take a breath and breathe into it and say, man, I'm so glad I was able to show up for myself during this exchange. I'm so grateful that I could be who I am and be responsive in the way that I would like to be. I am grateful that I stood up for myself. I'm grateful that I was able to be who I know myself to be. All right? And motive check for yourself. Did I hurt anybody in the process? Probably not. Anytime we have an interaction, this feels like a partnership or a relationship sort of aspect. Work-related, non-work-related, could be professional, non-professional, but it involves personal growth, okay? When we're in these interactions and we have an expectation that somebody external to us is going to understand our internal world, that's a little cattywampus. That's not common sense. So common sense is employed through the divine feminine. How you feel, what you intuit, that's common sense. So when you're in an exchange and common sense, because that's what it feels like you're operating from, common sense would be that if we're having a conversation, it's going to take place in a respectful, loving, kind, appreciative, comfortable way, right? Whereas when you go in, maybe what you're talking about, you've never talked about before. Okay. Not in the way that you plan to talk about it. Maybe this is the first time you're stepping into a conversation where you know to be true your value, and you're not sure how to articulate your value into the conversation. So, the first thing that happens in any kind of interaction when you're unsure about how to present yourself, it's going to feel to the other individual like a punch in the fucking face. That's how it's going to feel, because it's such a 180 from who you've been. It isn't because you're being mean, it's because you have a new way of articulating who you are in a conversation. Your beliefs change every day, every moment, all right, because you get new information and you're intuiting it to find out, right, the best ways for you to operate. So be gentle with you. You made right choices. Standing in good stead to yourself is always going to be challenging because it's usually different to what you're living, and that feels harsh because it's change. And the part of fear that you're in is not knowing who you're going to become after that conversation. That's the fear. Will they like me after this? Will we be together after this? Are they going to see things my way? Okay. And so a lot of it is self-soothing. Here we go. Yes, I think it was my inner child and autism reacting. The rejection sensitivity I felt, I was aware of it. I was aware it was more of his problem, but I was taken aback from the response. I was trying to schedule. Yeah. Okay. An appointment with the guy, but he rejected me for an irrelevant reason. Correct. And that's going to challenge who you know yourself to be. And that's what we're telling you. Okay. And so when you personalize it and you wrap it in a way that it means something, it feels to you like something, you've created a meaning. If somebody challenges that meaning, your meaning is steeped in belief. Your belief is steeped in intuition and how you feel and what your emotional body tells you it is. All right. I forgot to silence my phone.
And also in regards to how you say with your inner child reacting and everything, take a look at that as well. Take a look at what you're saying, your inner child. Go further into that, because that's going to be something. If it reacted to this, and honey, you were trying to schedule an appointment, and if this set you off, that one is a little deeper. What happened? What happened to that child? How old were you? Kind of look into that. Feel that, and there's a technique that I've learned with Lucinda of sitting down with that child, talking to that child. You're in a much better place than you were when you were that child. Let them know that and release that pain. If not, this was over schedule. This was over scheduling something. Later on, it could be something a little bit more, and it's going to devastate. It's going to affect you. Work on it now that it's a little trigger, and don't let that become something that's going to devastate you, that's going to pull your progress back. So it would be something nice for you to do, of just kind of going into it. Okay, it was my inner child. It was we all have a little bit of the tism. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's on the spectrum somehow, some way, something. So that has nothing to do with anything. Everybody has that, even if they don't want to accept it.
It is a way that you're saying you process, which is valid.
And but yeah, kind of look into your inner child. Look at why that child felt that way, and kind of, sit with them and be like, okay, I'm in a better place. We don't need to feel this way anymore. We're better. We're okay. We're good. And release that part, so it'll be easier for you in long term. It'll be easier. things may still come up, because Lord knows things come up every now and then that you don't even think it would be a trigger. And it's just like, okay, crap. Okay, I gotta sit down. I gotta figure this out. I gotta work through this. Because sometimes the triggers can be very obvious. Other times it's like you're going around in circles until you finally figure out which trigger it was. So you found the trigger. I would suggest working on it, because that would also help you out long term. But yeah.
I think that, so as I check into like the energy of it, right? The energy of it is how you describe it to yourself. Okay.
Right here.
And how you feel about that description.
Mm-hmm.
So as you describe the situation to yourself, you'll create through your thought and articulation an understanding. The understanding will have all of the energy of the experience in it, how you felt, what it was, how it came about, how it touched you when you were younger, how you showed up then, and how like it works out now. All of this is going to be present, and that's what it means to be like all at once, everything happening all at once.
Your audio's a little choppy.
My what?
Your audio's a little choppy.
Oh, okay. Is that better? Is that better? Can you hear me now? I feel like I'm on a call. I got told we're both good, so you're fine. And I don't have anything.
Yeah.
I think Angie is the one yes, she is. Angie is the one lagging. You're right. Okay. But this appointment might have meant the world to you. It might have meant like your solve, okay, your resolution to a situation. So you're going to hinge on it because you think that is the answer. It doesn't make it right or wrong that that's how you think. It doesn't mean that what you got maybe declined for isn't right. It means that you guys didn't see each other in the way that you had hoped to. Okay. All right. So what could you do to support yourself, to allow yourself to feel heard? Because that's basically what it is. How can you allow yourself to feel heard in the circumstance? Okay. And the idea is to groom yourself or program yourself into an understanding and a meaning that feels satisfied to you. Having people tell you that that there are ways that they cannot help you is very frustrating. It's very frustrating. And that frustration can be something that is unprocessed from an earlier time in your life. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's right or wrong until you determine it as right or wrong. And then you'll live that vibration of what you determined it to be. So if the individual treated you in it feels like there's so many different feelings that went into this conversation. And what Angie was talking about is making it right for yourself. That's what she's talking about. And I have an exercise. The exercise is to imagine or pretend with your eyes closed, okay, that you maybe see, let's do this real fast with you, okay, because I think this will benefit you. So I want you, anybody who's available, if you want to do this, if you feel like you have some information from childhood that you want to process, this is a great way to process it, all right? And not all of us have the luxury of processing with our parents and letting them talk to us and have these conversations that we desire, right? It's more about trying to navigate the world as it is. So the idea is to imagine or pretend that you are seeing a wide expanse of earth, okay? And you picture the color of dirt that you like, okay? And as you do that, a bench will begin to materialize in front of you. Grass will grow beneath your feet that are bare on the earth. A tree will grow from the earth up to the sky so high you cannot see it, the tip of it, the top of it. Yet it will feel like family. It'll feel like community. It will feel like stability. And the bench feels welcoming and familiar, like you've been there before. And I want you to take a seat on the bench, okay? And I want you to relax onto the bench. And then I want for the child that was in the conversation with the individual at that point that didn't feel like they had a voice, I want them to show up in front of you. It might be more than one, and that's okay. And now I want you to imagine or pretend that you're inviting them to sit next to you on the bench. Now, here's some rules for you. The only thing that you can say from who you are now to who you were then is I love you. Those are the only words you could say. And you're going to allow the child to begin to talk to you about what they were feeling in that moment. Maybe the powerlessness, the restriction, the dismissiveness, the lack of parental support, the not being heard, having to fit in. Yeah. See, now you're all the way in it. You let that beautiful individual tell you how it was for them in that moment, how difficult it was to show up, because this is who keeps showing up in your life. This is who goes toe-to-toe with any kind of difficulty. This is the version of you that comes. You keep telling them, I love you. Yes, you are going to get emotional. It's all right. You just keep saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. You let them keep talking. Another version of you is standing in back of you with their hands on your shoulders to give you support. You're beginning to feel all the love that you have for yourself and all the versions of you that had to show up in each of the circumstances and experiences that you've been in. And as this occurs, you begin to feel more at home with who you are. And you begin to share with these other individuals that you've been how wonderful an individual you are now. And as you thank them for showing up and being this person, that necessity, you recognize, you give them permission, you say, thank you for you. Thank you for me. Thank you for who I am now. Thank you for who I will be. Thank you for that spirit. Thank you for that strength. Thank you for that possibility. Thank you for holding the line. Thank you for waiting. And now you're coming to a place where a sidewalk or a walkway is going to appear in back of you. And at the end of that sidewalk or walkway, a house is going to appear. It's a house that you've dreamed about for a very long time, but you've never had the pleasure of being in. And it has everything. It has a beautiful door. It has like all these, it's just gorgeous. And as you walk toward it, all of your beings travel with you toward this house. And as you're walking up the porch to the door opens and there's another version of you. And this version of you is wanting to talk to you. And you're like, oh, okay, great. So you go in and you begin this conversation and you notice that there's all versions of you, There's plenty to eat, plenty to do. Anything you've ever wanted to do is there, all of your hopes and dreams. And it's safe because you're the only one that knows where it is. Nobody can get here but you. You sit down and you're in the bath of love, kindness, generosity, because this is who you really are. And you're drinking all of it in, and you're hearing you and feeling heard for one of the first times in your life. Now you're having a sense of enough. That's what enough feels like. You've always been enough. All right. And as this energy shifts and you see how well cared for you have done for yourself in so many ways, you feel a sense of solution, possibility, ease. And now it's time for you to leave the house. But you tell everybody, you say, oh, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll meditate and I'll visit often because I need to know so much more about myself and love myself and accept the love that I have for myself so easily. Everybody walks you to the front door. Nobody can get enough hugs. And it's just very loving and generous. And the door opens. You wave bye to everybody as you step out. And as you walk away from the house, it begins to disappear. You're the only one that can get there and know how to get there again. The walkway begins to disappear. You stand in front of the bench. The bench disappears. The grass ungrows. The tree goes back into the ground. And you're left on the earth. And you are yourself again. And I want you to slowly come into your body and your awareness. You can open your eyes when you're ready. And this is all about coming to you, coming home to you. Blessings. And I hope that helped. I hope that helped a lot. And it really is about meditation and bringing yourself back to who you are and being okay with that. So, we have Bernadette. Any messages from Spirit about me singing? Yes, you are supposed to. I want to let you know that like you probably would do really good, Bernadette. You do really good allowing yourself to sing. Well, doing more of it, that's how you improve. Because you come into acceptance and then you go into resonance. That's how it works. So the reason it sounds dissonant to you at first is because you'll say it's off key or it's not tonally proper. And that's because you're not in resonance with who you are. So as you get more comfortable, it will become easier. You won't be dissonant, you'll be resonant. And that's how singing works. I found that out. Think about karaoke. All right. Think about karaoke. All right. If you're in a room with a bunch of people and there is a singer in there that is dynamite, when you get up there to sing, you're going to be here all in your head. You're going to be creating all kinds of confusion. Man, I don't know if I could sing like that. I don't know if I could do this. Well, maybe I can, maybe I can't. Or maybe whatever story it is you're making up. That creates the dissonance, right? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's perfect. That is perfect. That's perfect. Okay. So like you've been looking for an outlet for a minute. Okay. And there are lots of different ways to record yourself. Lots and lots and lots of different ways to record yourself. You could buy music, instrumental off YouTube and have a license for it. And it could be reggae. And then you could speak your thoughts and your emotions into it, or maybe sing and speak, right? And that would give you what you're looking for, performance. You can do anything you want. I just got done recording, so I'm telling you, you can do anything you want. I love that. Wow, everybody feels very clear now, right? Because we're all in harmony with who we are. And that's what that exercise does. It brings you back to self and it lets it be okay to be you. And that's what we learn every day, right? Heck yeah. So take your poetry and put it to reggae. And then play the music in the background while you paint. That's what I would do. Now I have an idea about what I'm going to do. That's absolutely awesome. I think that we forget that we want to be heard, so we don't listen to ourselves. We think it's external, but we're the ones talking to ourselves 100% of the time. So if we give ourselves agency and we believe that we matter, then it helps. It helps support us in what our next choices are. And that's really what I think we're learning, is a lot of that. What about you, Miss Angie? What do you think?
I do think with the other things we criticize ourselves more than we should. We're our own worst critic. If she feels that singing and recording and everything, that, I mean, honey, give it a shot. Try it, do it. It's an outlet. Don't let, you're probably not going to be everybody's cup of tea. That's fine. There's somebody that's going to like it. There's somebody you're going to like it, period. Like, as long as you like it, as long as you feel, okay, this is great, move forward. It's a thing of creativity, and then it's something that's opening a door for you. I mean, that may be where you're headed. It may help open a different avenue for you. At this point, I think we're all going into a situation within our lives where I need to do for me. I want to do for me. I want to be happy.
Whoops.
So just kind of, do what resonates for you. Do what makes you happy, and move forward with that. There you go.
For sure. Thanks, Bernadette. And now Miss Lila. Okay. Just came back home from San Francisco from school. Any messages from Spirit this week? Well, you're curious. And because you're curious, you're looking for guidance and you're allowing it to be external from you. That's not going to be satisfactory. Satisfaction is found inside the body. So everything that you're asking for is inside, not outside. Inside, not outside. Right now, the divine feminine has awoken. And because the divine feminine has awoken, anybody who is too full of their emotions isn't reading things very well. So you have to go through the emotional traffic that you've created over the years to find your bottom, all right, in order to allow yourself to feel what you want when you want, because you're in charge of that. And by you generating it, that gives you choice. You're going to have the expression in front of you, the experience in front of you, because you've created it already. How you feel about it, how you act in it, and what you think about it is how it continues. That's the inertia that you are. All right. Atoms are constantly in motion, so you're always in creation, discreating, creating, discreating, creating. But what you're doing is mind and heart. That's what you're creating and discreating, how you feel and what you think. So it's a belief system. Your belief system has values in frequency. Frequency is the layering that creates the vibe. The vibe is like the package of frequencies you're using operationally. So how you feel and what you think determines what your experience is. If you, because you read things a lot, and you're a Taurus. So because you read things a lot and it's been kind of shaky these last 8 years, join the fucking club. Join the club, because that's how it is right now for Taurus. That's exactly how it is. You don't know shit. That's what we all found out as a Taurus. We don't know shit. And what we believe is a lot. We believe a lot, like a lot, like so much. It's ridiculous. We believe so much. All right. Look at this. Many angel numbers showed up. Why? Why do you call them angel numbers? What do they mean to you? All right. Is that how you're going to get your messaging? Everything's a message. Yes. For a Taurus, everything's a fucking message right now. You know what I mean? And nothing. We know nothing. We know shit. That's what we know. And we are willing to tell other people that they don't know shit either. But we don't know how to say that nicely. We just don't. So the only thing we can say is, yep, I don't know shit. Go figure. Okay. So let's navigate this. Because this makes me very joyous. Yes, say it nicely. Good luck. That's a good luck moment right there. All right. So all of us are full. We're all full. Okay. And earlier I said I didn't like making it male and female. I didn't like that. But that's how it's appearing to us, because that's how we're translating it to ourselves. That's not what it is, but that's like what we're saying. Okay. And that's bullshit, but we're going to live it for a minute until we figure it out. When we figure it out, we'll know that it's feminine, masculine. And that's what we'll know. But right now we're in this gender bullshit to where guys are this and girls are this. All right. So here's what happened. Planetary alignment. So say it nicely, you say. I will say it nicely. First, on the 18th of January, Venus rolled into Aquarius. Then on the 21st of January, Mercury rolled into Aquarius. Then on the 24th of January, Mars rolled into Aquarius. That was Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. All our personal planets joining the Sun, Pluto in Aquarius. I don't even know where to fucking start. But I'll start here. So what happens, Venus rolls into Aquarius and Pluto is there, and Venus is like, hey, what's up? And Pluto's like, what the fuck? And Pluto's like, hey, you didn't get deep enough. All right. You didn't get deep enough to what you think and what you feel. So we need to handle those things right now. We need to handle your thinkings and your feelings. So let's hurry up and let's just bottom it. Let's bottom it right now. Oh, good. You don't like any of it. Perfect. Because literally, Aquarius is pouring consciousness back over you, just pouring it right over you and saying, hey, do you like any of the shit that you've already created? And we're like, hell no. But we can't avoid it anymore. We're it. We are it. So it's being poured right on top of us. And it's not like pour some sugar on me from Def Leppard. It's not what it is. It's not sticky sweet. It isn't that. It's nasty. It's nasty, and we're finding out how nasty it is. So we're coming into awareness. We're coming into awareness of just a lot of poop. So much poop, it's ridiculous. Okay. Then you have Neptune on Monday. And this is just after the Mars thing. Enter Aries. And it felt like, come on, girls. And that's what it felt like. Everybody on the planet felt it. So here's the feelings that maybe you wake up and in a unimaginable, yes. And that is the planet Uranus, transiting Taurus. That is the unimaginable hellscape we are in right now. And that is Uranus in Taurus. That is it right now. Okay. So Venus is a planet that represents air and earth, male and female, masculine, feminine nature. And it is your personal planet of physical, material things. Okay? Physical, material things. Okay? And she enters Aquarius, all right, who's in this consciousness enlightenment shit, and Pluto going into transformation and depth. And she's like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh, yeah. Everything that you had, we're just going to, you don't need that anymore. We're good. Get rid of all that. Anything that you thought was right. Yeah, fine. All the I have that means Taurus. Yep. All gone. Gone. So now what do you want? Venus is like, well, I don't want to be treated that way ever again. Well, what are you saying? Here, let's get communication involved. So Mercury rolls in, and that's Wednesday, and going into that same bit of consciousness. By the way, Mercury and Uranus, they run consciousness. Isn't that fucking great? Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? Disruption and distortion and thinking. Yep. That's what that is. So Mercury comes to the table and is like, yeah, I think we should do this. I think we should do that. I think we should do that. I think a lot of masculine energy. And it's like, nope, all your thoughts are wrong. They bring you back to where you've been. And you told us, Venus told us, you don't want to be there anymore. So forget that. You don't get those thoughts anymore. Those don't work anymore. Wow. Talk about untethered. So how you feel and what you think are no longer, they're not how it works. Then Mars, your personal planet of spirituality, your warrior, your I can do this and I can get that done, shows up on Saturday. And what happens? Divine feminine wakes up. Bam, just like that. Everybody on the planet that woke up on that Saturday morning went like this. It works like that? It works like that? Are you fucking kidding me? Everybody, every single person. And it was because our feelings got a seat at the banquet of life. That's what happened. Our divine feminine said, move over. I get to be included. No more exclusion. I am here. I am present. And it felt like to everybody that a really beautiful mom that supported you and co-signed your bullshit for all your life, okay, showed up when you were having the most bombest fucking party and said, stop where you're at. Don't move. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But don't you move. Not one bit. All right? Don't you move. And that's where we've been. Okay? And we're in awareness. That's awareness. We're in awareness now of the shit show we've been living. Isn't it fun? Okay. So Neptune going into Aries on Monday, turning back to all the personal planets and saying, come on, girls, is calling forward the divine feminine into action. That's what's happening. And we know how women are. We're contemplative as fuck. We are strategic as fuck. We've had to shut the fuck up for a really long time. And that is divine feminine nature coming awake. However, people are gendering it and saying, oh, those are girls. But that's not, that's everybody. Everybody's feeling that. Their divine feminine nature. I was a kid once. I wouldn't let that happen to me. How can I let that happen to another child? And that's how we're coming awake right now. That's how we're coming awake. So any kind of childhood trauma that you've had, boom, on the table. You get to eat at that plate because you haven't yet. And so if you haven't done that little bit of eating and self-realization that you need to accept yourself, you're going to have a big mound of bullshit called feelings on your plate. You got to eat them. Otherwise, you're going to vibe them. You're going to vibe all of them all at once, and you won't have any kind of intuitive common sense that is applicable, because that's where common sense is. It's in your feelings. It's in your feelings, how you feel about something, because you're feeling into the collective, and that is common energy. Sensing common energy. That's what common sense is. Isn't that wild? And you know what? You know what we learned? Men don't have it. Men don't have it. And that's why we're angry. That's why we're really fucking angry. Extremely angry. And that's why it's like, don't anybody move. I haven't
Someone
figured it out yet. Hold on. Hold on. And that's where we're all at right now. And it isn't a male female thing. This is divine feminine and divine masculine in interpretation. But that's how we're assigning it right now. And so the only safe place to be is children. It's the only safe place to be. So you have to look at how you treat kids, because that's the generation of where we came from. It's where we started making all this shit up. So we have to go back and unwind and discreate all the programming we were given. We have to discreate the things that we were taught were the way or the only way. Okay. And we're learning it's choice. That's what we're learning. We were never told it's choice. We were told it's difficult for people to make choices. So give them a choice between this or that. Or, meaning you must do without no matter what. And that isn't true. That isn't true. Do you want a sandwich or a drink? Do you want a sandwich or a drink? I can have both. Okay? All right. And that's what we're learning. We're learning that we can have both. We can have feelings and we can have thoughts. And all of them are valid to us because they're our perception as to how our experience is. It's how we interpret it to ourselves, for ourselves. Guess what? Science. Science is at the table for this. I want to introduce something to you in a metaphysical way. Okay. So we have clairs, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, and clairaudience. All right. And that's if you're practicing woo-woo, psychic development, all the stuff, okay? And it's just energy of how it works. Okay, let's take that theory and put it into science. Okay, great. Let me tell you how it works. You talk to yourself all day long. You want to know why? Because you have a DNA strand that says you can. That's your clairaudience. That is what you hear in your head. Bonus, you hear it in your head. That's your claircognizance. Recognition. Yep. Self-contained. It's a self-contained system. Watch, I'm going to show you. Okay. Then you're going to be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. You just brought it into a feeling and you're beginning to choose an emotion to associate it with, to create a vibe, so that you can have a perception or see it in a different way or the way. And that's how it's going to work. That's how clair works. Clair means clear. So you have clear thought, clear sight, clear expression, and clear feeling. And it's all science-based. Isn't that funny? Well, they just prove our spirituality over and over and over again. You can interpret it how you like, but that's how it works. I would say that because all of us have those abilities, the only times that it does get shut off is when we're told how it shuts off. Lots of times it's trauma. Like lots of times it's trauma. Like somebody says, shut up to us in the wrong way. We're going to shut up. And we'll go internal and we'll wonder why they were that way. How come that happened? What prompted that? And it isn't necessarily us. It's their choice. They're the ones that did it. And we're trying to interpret our part in it when it wasn't us. So we spend a lot of time trying to figure out other people, and that is a waste of time. Figure out you. When you figure out you, because you're the one that you're talking to 100% of the time, you're the one who's feeling about everything 100% of the time. You are exponentially involved in every experience you're in. Oh, so you should matter. You should matter. And you are naturally an atom. So you're always in motion. So there's no inertia. There's no inert objects. There's no inert objects. Nothing doesn't move. So everything is energy. Another science-based fact. Okay? All right. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Another science fact. What does that leave? Manipulation. You manipulate it through how you think and how you feel. That's how you have a good day or a bad day, is your perception. So if you're choosing to have a good day, what'll happen is that you will give yourself ease. And you'll vibe happy, joyous. If you're choosing to not have a great day because something external or internal is still something you're working on and that vibration doesn't feel good and you're in dissonance, you're working with something. You're working with something in your alignment and you're saying, I really don't like this. I really don't like this. I really don't like this. I really don't. I am this now. Ooh, I hate that. I hate who I am. I hate what I'm doing. I hate everything around me. No, you don't. You're just in a vibration. And you're translating that story in that way. And because you've developed meaning, physical frequency in your cells, okay, that's the memory that you have, you'll operate that way. And you keep feeding yourself that. You can create a feeling and have a thought. You can create a thought and have a feeling, and they intermingle. And that is the yin and yang energy of divine feminine and masculine. A feeling is a divine feminine energy because it's attractive. You're pulling in information to decipher. Okay? Thought is projection and reasoning. That's masculine energy. You're going out to find what is going on or what you need to do. Okay? So, depending on how you're having a conversation with you is the nature of the energy you are employing. If you are being accepting toward yourself, divine feminine, if you are letting your beliefs have a seat at the table, divine feminine, if you are commonly sensing into the collective to see what's best, divine feminine, because it's nurturing nature is present. Divine masculine, if you're trying to attempt to do something to further a purpose, divine masculine. If you're looking for an actionable state to match the passionate drive that you've created through a logical story, masculine. Okay? And it is a doing energy. Feminine is a being energy. All right? It doesn't make it right or wrong. That's just how the nature of the energy flow, ebb and flow. And you're in charge of it. That's the wild part. You're in charge of it. You're in charge of it 100%. There's like no way to like take yourself out of it. And so if you're looking for tools to be able to manage it, right? If you're looking for tools to manage it, then how you manage it is how you talk, how you think, what you feel. I love you, Angie. Just like me, you did it for me, so I did it for you. You're good. Okay. So science is present, and science has always been there to prove our spiritual beliefs. So science, masculine beliefs, feminine. So feminine beliefs proved by masculine logic. That's what we do. And how you look at it is how you feel about it. So if you're thinking that, oh, maybe this isn't right, you're challenging the vibration that you've already practiced and said to be true. That's dissonant. So it's going to take you a long time to come back to that circle, the end of the circle, because now you're putting misinformation on there and it feels like this pattern isn't working right, but it keeps providing you the same information over and over again. That's that loop. And that's because you're not putting anything new on it. You keep putting the same stuff on there, different color, but it's the same stuff. So until you decide to put different information, you're not going to have a different outcome. It'll be the same. And that's how researchers do it. They go ahead and they do trials and they say, oh, okay, here's one. Well, that worked out kind of like this. Maybe if we tweak it and we do it a little bit like this, we can have this outcome. Okay, great. And that's what they do. That's what they do. It isn't, wow, look at this miracle happening. Let me investigate that. No, that's not. That's not. And science has been turned into such an animal of avarice for knowledge that it negates the spiritual that it starts from. And that takes out the divine feminine. And now what you have is merely logic and no sentience. When you have no sentience, there's no belief. And that makes people numb. Numb to life. So when the divine feminine woke up and said, hoo, 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 your feelings are here today for the next 18, 19 years. How do you feel about that? Welcome to the age of Aquarius. Everybody asks me if Aquarius is a water planet or a water constellation. No, it's air. It is consciousness.
Oh, air.
Pluto is a planet of transformation and it comes from Scorpio. So think about Scorpios. Your darkest, deepest scorpion that is in your life. All of their capabilities. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. There. Yep. Yep, just like that. Yep, just drink all that in. I have a lot of Scorpios in my friendship base. They're better as a friend, I will tell you that. So are Libras. Any planets that you have that interact with other planets or you're in opposition to? Okay, I'm going to put it up there because this individual would like some showtime. There we go. Did we get enough? Did we get enough showtime? Do you feel good about your comment? Are you beautiful now? Do you feel as though you've said something uplifting in addition to this conversation that is about energetic shifts and changes? And it's like the divine feminine nature. And so you feel that that is nonsense. Ooh! So you're one of them there people that can't do common sense very well, huh? Good on ya. Well, that's all right for me. Sad. I'll just return the information to you. Sad. Okay. I'm better. I'm not usually vindictive, but today I guess I felt a little bit of it. I needed to. Caution, not Mother Teresa yet. And I don't plan to be. I do not plan to be. And this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. Your divine feminine is not going to take any more of that style of bullshit. It won't. How you feel matters. What you think is important. All of you deserves a seat at the table of life. There is no part of you has to be negated any longer. You need to learn to manage you now. And that's what it really comes to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have anything to say, Miss Angie? Did you like that comment? That was a good comment, huh? Sad. Preach.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of other channels that they could have gone to if they didn't want to see a white lady talk nonsense.
I am talking sense. That's the best part. I'm talking sense. I'm talking about sensory awareness. I'm talking about feelings and emotion. And so the sad part for me
but it's
was
nonsense
that they used their words incorrectly. They used their words incorrectly. It was not in application.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, for them, that's an ego stroke. So they're just kind of.
I apologize for that association. Proximity doesn't work anymore.
Okay, congratulations. Yeah, but
man. I hope that everybody has a very beautiful day.
Yeah, they
and this has been lovely.
Need to your child. It's been neglected.
Right. Spend time with your inner child. That's right. I hope that you guys have a great day. And Angie and I are going to sign off now. All right. So thank you very much.